What is going on, everyone? So in this week's video, I want to talk about the process of getting ready for a photography trip and a little technique that I learned before going on my fall trip that proved to be quite effective. So let's go to the year before that. So let's go back to the fall of 2018. And when I went on the trip to design that year, I had some really great conditions to work with. The fall color was fantastic. The light was very good on most days, and we even had some interesting weather, but I found that I was very sloppy with my work, both from a photography standpoint as well as a video standpoint. I felt like I was juggling too much, and I just had a hard time concentrating. And so when I was planning for my trip to Zion in 2019, I came up with a little bit of a different approach. In the days and months leading up to the trip, I started writing down some of my goals and my objectives for the trip. And I created this little notebook called My Awesome Notebook. And I wrote down 10 things in particular that I really wanted to accomplish on my fall trip to Zion. Most of those are areas in particular that I wanted to explore, but some of the other things are, general types of subjects I was curious about and some things along those lines. And this really helped me out because once you go on these trips, it's really easy to get distracted by things. It's like those times when you're going to the store to buy that one thing, you all know what I'm talking about right here, and you walk out of that store buying 5 things of which none are that one thing that you went in there for. But if you write a list, it really does help out. So that's what I did. I wrote a list of 10 different things, and I was just going through the list here now as I'm planning for my trip to Death Valley. And of those 10 things, I was able to complete 7 of those tasks in terms of scouting areas or other things along those lines. So this was really beneficial for me. When I went on the trip, I could pull out the notebook if I was trying to figure out exactly what I should do for the day. And I saw it right there and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. There's that one canyon I wanted to check out, or things along those lines. And this resulted directly in my favorite photo from the trip. So now as I'm recording this video, I'm about 4 days or so from heading off onto my winter trip out to Death Valley and probably also back to Zion. So I created a list of goals for that trip as well. And so far for Death Valley, I wrote down 12 things, and then for Zion I have 4 things written down. So I've just been keeping this list handy, and I've been adding to it as I've been thinking of more things. But I think this is really going to help me in the field because it'll allow me to refer back to this and think back to all the things that was going through my mind as I was planning for the trip. So I highly recommend it. Make yourself a little notebook. Write down the things that you really want to accomplish on the trip. I think it's also important at the end of the trip, once you're back home, to go back to that list and see how you did. And so I think 7 out of 10 for the trip to Zion. I think that was pretty cool. And then a few of those items that didn't quite work their way into my trip in the fall, they've actually reappeared on my winter trip. So we'll see how that goes. But as this video posts, I am most likely in the field, hopefully taking some cool pictures and some good light and all that. So hopefully that will all work out quite well. But I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you around next week.